Hi there, hey there, howdy knitter. You get glitter stitches and I get glitter stitches and our projects get glitter stitches today. I'm the Knitting Fairy Godmother and today we're talking about our book. This is book club, Mindful Thoughts for Makers, Connecting Head, Hearts, and Hands by Ellie Beck. And today's chapter is about monotasking. So let's talk about what that means. Mono means one, and tasking is an activity or an action. So this is one action at a time. And for me, this is a huge challenge because we live in the United States, a Western culture that is very focused on the external productivity, getting a lot done in a little amount of time, the efficiency of something. So it's something that I've had to think about and work with. I practice this every day, and I have to practice it every day because it doesn't come easy to me. The idea of monotasking is that you can develop, for me, I have had to develop a laser focus way to bring my attention into one thing. And the way that I've done that is through a daily practice. So I practice monotasking every day. For me, it helps to have a routine where I practice this, and it takes away like the decision-making process of, oh, should I do it? Should I not? It's just part of what I do every day. And I have found that the more that I practice monotasking, the easier it is. For me, I have to start with something very small and that I like. So I don't do big leaps. I do very small steps and very small bites. So the thing I decided to try with monotasking is knitting. And because I love knitting, that wasn't a huge leap. I don't have to convince myself to knit every day. I already do knit every day. It's the one-step rule where what I'm shifting is my attention. So I have made the deliberate decision and the deliberate effort to knit the same project every day in quiet with no distractions. And so that's my way of practicing monotasking. For me, it's a task. It's one thing. There's a starting point and an ending point. So you can make that mean whatever works for you. For me, I think I'm knitting about 220 stitches a day. And when my 220 stitches are done, then I've completed the monotask. If you're doing something that's time-based, you can set a timer. I have definitely used the timer as a tool with other things to help me focus. For me, trying to take a task that I already do and then layer on the idea of the concentration and focus on one task has also helped. So I could take one thing that I already do that I multitask with, like maybe I check my phone as I make the bed, or maybe I listen to a podcast while I make dinner. That might be an opportunity to take away that second piece and then bring your attention and focus back to the main task. It's something that we all have to play around with and find what works for us, because it is a trial and it's a try and see type of thing. And what works for me might not work for you, but what works for me might be a jumping off point for you where you try it and maybe it doesn't work, but that helps you to find what does work. And then what I've found is that as I monotask, I feel more connected to the one thing that I'm doing. I find that my concentration is easier when I'm outside of the monotasking. So I've even noticed that my concentration has gotten better when I'm not monotasking or like in that practice, which is an added benefit. Like it's always nice when we can experience the benefit of our actions. And oh, here's a juicy one. So even though I don't have the immediate pressure of doing something every day, when I don't do it, I miss it. And I feel like a little awkward or itchy. Like I notice inside of myself that I've missed something. And that's when I know that my habits are good habits. Because if I miss the habit or the task and I don't feel better, it's a light bulb moment. That's just reinforcing that it's working. The opposite is also true. We can use the opposite as like our result or hypothesis. If you don't do something, a habit you're trying to build, and you feel better, then it's time to sort of reevaluate what the process is and what you are trying to achieve, because that's not the result you want and you get to choose. So you have more information, but now that you know it's not working, you can make adjustments so that it does work. Monotasking. Okay, that's our chapter for today. Monotasking. Thoughts with Ellie Beck and the Knitting Fairy Godmother. So until next week, toodles!